Hello, this lesson is on rates and unit rates. We are continuing on in Unit 5. Our learning target is being able to describe a rate and determining the unit rate of any given rate. A rate is a ratio that compares two quantities with different kinds of units. So we just talked about ratios that compared two quantities. Now we're talking about different kinds of units. And then a unit rate is when a rate is simplified so that it has a denominator of 1. So here's some examples of rates. 32 miles in 6 hours. We're comparing miles to hours. $54.50 for 5 chairs. We're comparing money to chairs. 25 marbles in 10 minutes. And then $3.23 per ounce. If we want to find a unit rate, we're going to write the information as a ratio. Then we divide our numerator and denominator by the denominator, and then we compare if necessary. Desiree earns $280 in 40 hours. So we're going to write that as a ratio first. $280 in 40 hours. And it's important to use units so we know what we're comparing, and especially then when we can get our unit rate, then we know what our label is. So this is a rate. $280 in 40 hours is a rate. What is her hourly pay rate? So that means how much is she getting paid for 1 hour, which because it's 1, then that's going to be our unit rate. So then what we're going to do, because we want to find how much for 1 hour, then I know that if I divide 40 by 40, I'm going to get 1 hour, and whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So then we would do 280 divided by 40. I know that 28 divided by 4 is 7, so I would just add the 0. So $70 in 1 hour. So the unit rate would be $70 per hour. Find the unit rate if it costs $2 for 8 juice boxes, round to the nearest cent. So again, we would have $2 for 8 juice boxes. I want to know how much the unit price is asking me. Okay, how much is it for 1 juice box? So I know that 8 divided by 8 is going to get me to 1. So I would do $2 divided by 8. $2 divided by 8 would be 25 cents. So our unit rate is 25 cents per juice box. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try these 3 problems and then come back and check your work. So find each unit rate. $300 for 6 hours would be $300 for 6 hours. Really what we're doing is we're just doing $300 divided by 6 hours is going to get me how much in 1 hour. $300 divided by 6 is 50. So $50 per hour. 220 miles on 8 gallons, so 220 miles on 8 gallons. I'm going to do 220 divided by 8, which is going to give me 27.5 miles per gallon, or you could also write it as miles per gallon, either way. But as long as you have a label. And going back up here to the money, remember the $ goes in front of the number, and we always want to make sure that we do label it as money so we know what it is. And then a 4-pack of mixed fruit sells for $2.12. So not always is it going to be the first number divided by the second number. We want to do money, so the rate is $2.12 for a 4-pack. So then I would do $2.12 divided by 4, and that would give me 53 cents, and it's a 4-pack, so 53 cents per pack. We can also use unit rates to find a new rate. So Lexi painted 3 faces in 12 minutes at the craft fair. At this rate, how many faces can she paint in 40 minutes? So 3 faces in 12 minutes. We want to know how many can she paint in 40 minutes. So first of all, we're going to figure out how many faces does she paint in 1 minute. And then we're going to change that to 40 minutes. So we would do, remember we take our numerator divided by our denominator. So I would do 3 divided by 12. And yeah, it's going to get me a fraction, which is weird, but that's okay. So it's 25 hundredths, which is 1/4. So she does 25 hundredths of a face, so 1/4 of a face in a minute. And then if we think about equivalent fractions, remember if I just multiply this times 40, I'm going to get 40. So let's do the same here. So if we do 25 hundredths times 40, I would get 10. So then we know that she would paint 10 faces in 40 minutes. Sherry ran 4 miles in 20 minutes. At this rate, how long will it take her to run 10 miles? So because we want to fit, we're going to use our unit rate for how many in 1 mile. We're going to put 20 minutes in for 4 miles. We want to know how many minutes in 1 mile, and then we're going to change that to how many minutes in 10 miles. So we're going to divide our numerator by our denominator. So 20 divided by 4 gets me 5 minutes per mile. And then 1 times 10 is what gets me to 10 on my denominator. So I do the same up here. 5 times 10. So 50 minutes in 10 miles. And then lastly, we can use unit rate to compare to see what's the better deal. So if you want to pause and try to figure out what the best deal of French fries is, then you could do that and then come back and check. So we have $6 for 16 ounces. We have $7 for 32 ounces. And then we have $9.50 for 88 ounces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and I can put it in my calculator. I'm going to take my numerator and divide it by the denominator. So $6 divided by 16, and we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth because it's money, is going to get me 38 cents per ounce. And then if I do $7 divided by 32, I'm going to round that to my nearest hundredth, so I would get 22 cents per ounce. So for 1 ounce of popcorn, so far, this one is a better deal because I'm only paying 22 cents per ounce, whereas this one I'm paying 38 cents per ounce. And then the last one, $9.50 divided by 88, is 11 cents per ounce. So this one is by far the better deal because it's half of the price, or less than half of the price of the other two. And that's how they try to get you, is because they make it a better deal, but then you end up spending more on the bigger bucket. But the big one would be the better deal because it's less money per ounce. So that's all I have for you. Make sure you have these notes with all your clear notes from the video and examples and everything in class tomorrow. Have a great day.